What if I told you that while Americans are paying $800,000 for a tiny beach condo, there are stunning seaside properties in Italy with ocean views, centuries of history, and Mediterranean charm, sitting empty for just $70,000? The locals are practically begging someone to take them. Today, we're uncovering 7 overlooked Italian coastal gems where your retirement dreams meet reality and where your dollar stretches further than you ever imagined. But here's the twist. There's a reason nobody wants them, and that reason might be exactly why they're perfect for you. Stay until number 1. It'll completely change how you think about retirement abroad. Number 7. Abandoned fishing villages of Liguria. Picture this. You wake up in a stone cottage perched on dramatic cliffs, the sound of waves crashing against ancient rocks below, while the scent of wild rosemary and sea salt fills your morning coffee ritual. These are the forgotten fishing villages of Liguria, places where time stopped, where the young left for bigger cities, and where stunning properties now sit empty, waiting for someone who appreciates their raw, untamed beauty. Here's what $70,000 gets you in these clifftop sanctuaries. A traditional stone house with thick walls that keep you cool in summer and warm in winter, often featuring original beamed ceilings, terracotta floors, and those postcard-perfect shutters. Many come with small terraced gardens where previous generations grew vegetables and herbs, complete with ancient stone retaining walls, and possibly a small vineyard that still produces grapes for local wine. The catch? These properties need renovation. New plumbing, updated electrical, maybe some structural work. But even factoring in $30,000 to $50,000 in renovations, you're looking at a total investment that wouldn't buy you a parking space in Manhattan. The renovation process becomes part of the adventure, working with local contractors who understand traditional building methods and can source authentic materials like Ligurian slate and locally quarried stone. Your monthly living cost here hover around $1,200 to $1,500. But consider what that includes. Groceries from local markets run about $300 monthly. Fresh focaccia still warm from century-old ovens. Olive oil pressed from trees your neighbor's great-grandparents planted. Fish caught that morning by boats you can watch from your window. Utilities, including high-speed internet that's finally reached these remote locations, cost around $150 monthly. The nearest town might be a 20-minute drive down winding coastal roads, but that isolation is exactly what makes these places magical. Italy's healthcare system ranks second globally, and as a resident, you'll pay roughly $200 annually for comprehensive coverage. The challenge? Limited English speakers and basic amenities. But for Maria, a retired art teacher from Portland, that was the appeal. She bought her cliff edge cottage for $68,000, spent 8 months slowly renovating it herself, and now spends her days painting watercolors of the endless sea horizon. I traded convenience for peace, she tells visitors, and I've never been happier. Number 6. Calabria's forgotten coastal towns. Imagine driving through olive groves that shimmer silver green in the afternoon sun, past ancient villages where old men play cards in piazzas unchanged for centuries, until suddenly the road curves and reveals the most spectacular coastline you've ever seen. Crystal clear waters that shift from turquoise to deep sapphire, stretching towards Sicily's distant mountains. Welcome to Calabria, Italy's forgotten toe, where $70,000 doesn't just buy you a house, it buys you a piece of history. These coastal properties often feature traditional courtyard designs, thick stone walls built to withstand earthquakes, and rooftop terraces perfect for watching sunsets that paint the entire sky in shades of gold and crimson. Many properties include small plots of land where citrus trees still bear fruit, lemons the size of grapefruits, blood oranges that are impossibly sweet, and ancient olive trees provide shade and liquid gold. The architectural details tell stories of generations. Hand-painted ceramic tiles created by local artisans, wooden shutters carved with family crests, and interior courtyards designed to create cooling breezes during hot summer months. Some properties even include traditional bread ovens, where families once baked weekly supplies, now perfect for weekend dinner parties with neighbors who will quickly become like family. your cost of living here drops to an almost unbelievable $900 to $1,200 monthly. A 3-course dinner at a family-run trattoria costs $15, often featuring pasta, made by Nonna using recipes passed down through generations. Your weekly grocery shop, including local wine that would cost $30 per bottle in America, fresh pasta, seasonal vegetables, and fish caught by local boats, rarely exceeds $40. Property taxes on your seaside retreat, around $300 annually, less than most Americans pay monthly for car insurance. The healthcare system maintains Italy's high standards, with modern hospitals within an hour's drive of most coastal areas. Crime rates are among the lowest in Europe, though you'll need to embrace the southern Italian pace of life. Shops close for several hours in the afternoon, dinner happens late, and everything takes a little longer than you might expect. But for Robert, a retired engineer from Chicago, who bought a renovated fisherman's cottage for $72,000, the isolation became an unexpected gift. "I spend my mornings swimming in water so clear I can see fish 20 feet below me," he shares. "My afternoon routine involves walking to the village bakery, buying tomorrow's bread, and chatting with neighbors who've adopted me as their American grandson. My biggest stress is deciding which beach to visit." Number 5. Sardinia's interior coastal access. Close your eyes and picture this. Rolling hills covered in wild Mediterranean scrub, ancient stone walls marking boundaries established by shepherds centuries ago. And just beyond those hills, some of the most pristine beaches in Europe, with sand so white it looks like sugar and water so clear, you can see every detail of the seafloor 20 feet down. These are Sardinia's interior properties with coastal access, homes in traditional villages just 10 to 15 minutes from world-class beaches that most tourists never discover. For $70,000, you're looking at substantial stone houses built from local granite, featuring thick walls that naturally regulate temperature, traditional tile roofs, and often small courtyards where jasmine and bougainvillea create natural perfume sanctuaries. Living costs range from $1,000 to $1,400 monthly, but the value proposition is extraordinary. Fresh seafood costs a fraction of mainland prices because you're buying directly from fishermen. Local markets overflow with products most of the world pays premium prices for: artisanal cheeses, organic vegetables grown in mineral-rich volcanic soil, wines from family vineyards, and that famous Sardinian honey that locals swear extends life itself. Healthcare maintains Italy's exceptional standards, with modern facilities in larger towns and traditional village doctors who still make house calls. The island's residents enjoy some of the world's longest lifespans. Sardinia is one of only 5 blue zones where people regularly live past 100 in excellent health. The challenges are real. Ferry connections to mainland Italy add travel complexity. Job opportunities are limited for those needing local income, and the traditional Sardinian dialect can make integration slower for English speakers. Summer tourism brings crowds to coastal areas, though your interior location provides peaceful refuge. However, for couples like Janet and Paul from Vancouver, who bought a traditional granite house for $69,000, these challenges became advantages. "We're 12 minutes from beaches that rival anything in the Caribbean," Paul explains. "But we live among people whose families have been here for generations, where our neighbor brings us fresh ricotta she made that morning, and where the biggest decision is which pristine beach to explore today. Our property taxes are $280 annually. Our monthly expenses rarely exceed $1,200, and we've never felt safer anywhere in the world." Number 4. Molisse's hidden Adriatic gems. Imagine Italy's best-kept secret, a region so overlooked that Italians themselves joke about its existence, yet containing some of the country's most unspoiled Adriatic coastline, medieval hilltop towns, and properties priced like the secret hasn't gotten out, because it hasn't. Molise represents the ultimate Italian paradox: authentic, undiscovered, and practically giving away seaside properties to anyone willing to embrace la dolce vita at its most genuine. For $70,000, you'll find renovated apartments with sea views, traditional houses with original tile work and wooden beams, or even small villas with gardens where fig trees and grapevines create natural canopies for afternoon siestas. Your monthly budget stretches impossibly far here. $800 to $1,100 covers everything from housing expenses to daily cappuccinos at the local bar, where regulars will eventually know your order before you speak it. Restaurant meals cost $12 to $18 for multiple courses, featuring local specialties like brodetto, seafood stew, and hand-rolled pasta with truffles that grow in nearby hills. The healthcare system provides the same excellent coverage available throughout Italy, though in smaller towns, you'll build personal relationships with doctors who remember your medical history without checking charts. Safety levels exceed those of most American suburbs. Violent crime is virtually non-existent, and the biggest security concern involves making sure you lock your bicycle. Molisse's isolation creates both challenges and charms. Limited international recognition means fewer direct flights and less English language support, but it also means authentic cultural immersion unavailable in tourist-heavy regions. Younger residents often speak some English, while older generations communicate through gestures, smiles, and shared meals that transcend language barriers. For Linda, a retired librarian from Ohio who purchased a Seaview apartment for $71,000, Molisse's anonymity became its greatest asset. "I tell people I live in Italy's best-kept secret," she laughs. "My morning walk takes me past ancient churches, through markets where vendors remember my preferences, and onto beaches where I might encounter more seagulls than people. My total monthly expenses average $950, including wine with every dinner and healthcare that would cost me $400 monthly back home. I've become part of a community that existed long before tourism, and they've welcomed me like family." Number 3. Abruzzo's coastal mountain interface. Picture waking up to snow-capped Apennine peaks in the distance, while the Adriatic Sea sparkles just 15 minutes from your front door, a geographical impossibility anywhere else in the world, yet daily reality in Abruzzo's coastal mountain transition zone. These properties represent Italy's ultimate lifestyle diversity package. $70,000 buys substantial stone houses, often featuring original architectural details like frescoed ceilings, hand-carved wooden doors, and terraced gardens where previous owners cultivated everything from wine grapes to medicinal herbs. Many properties include outbuildings perfect for workshops, studios, or guest accommodations. Living expenses range from $1,100 to $1,500 monthly, but the experiential value defies calculation. Morning coffee might overlook medieval castle ruins. Lunch could feature mushrooms and truffles foraged from mountain forests. And evening aperitivos happen on terraces facing endless ocean horizons. Local markets offer mountain honey, coastal seafood, and wines from hillside vineyards, often sold by the same families who've produced them for generations. Healthcare combines Italy's world-class medical system with smaller town personal attention. Modern hospitals serve the coastal cities, while mountain villages maintain traditional approaches to wellness, including thermal springs renowned since Roman times for healing properties. The region's unique geography creates microclimates, allowing both beach days and mountain hiking within the same afternoon, but also requires embracing seasonal variations. Snowy mountain winters, perfect spring weather, warm coastal summers, and spectacular autumn colors that attract photographers from across Europe. For Thomas and Rebecca, retired teachers from Minnesota who bought a renovated farmhouse for $68,000, Abruzzo's diversity became addictive. "Monday morning, we're swimming in the Adriatic," Rebecca explains. "Wednesday afternoon, we're hiking mountain trails where wolves still roam wild. Friday evening, we're in hilltop villages where families have made wine for 20 generations. Our monthly expenses total $1,300. Our property taxes are $340 annually, and we've discovered that retirement isn't about sitting still. It's about having endless options for adventure." Number 2. Sicily's northeastern forgotten corners. Prepare yourself for the most dramatic revelation. While tourists flock to Sicily's western attractions, the northeastern coast harbors some of the Mediterranean's most spectacular and affordable properties, overlooking waters where 3 seas converge, and ancient cultures left architectural treasures, now available for the price of a used car. For $70,000 in northeastern Sicily, you're purchasing more than property. You're buying into 3,000 years of continuous civilization. These houses often occupy strategic positions established by Greek colonists, refined by Romans, fortified by Arabs, and perfected by Normans. Original architectural features might include Byzantine mosaics, Arabic courtyards, Norman stonework, and Spanish ceramic tiles, all within walking distance of beaches, where volcanic sand creates natural hot springs. Monthly living costs hover around $1,000 to $1,400, but the cultural richness multiplies every euro's value. Local markets offer products unique to Sicily's northeastern microclimate. Blood oranges with flavors impossible to replicate elsewhere, capers grown on volcanic soil, wines from grapes adapted to specific altitudes, and seafood caught using techniques passed down through generations. Healthcare maintains Italy's exceptional standards while incorporating traditional Sicilian approaches to wellness, thermal springs, medicinal plants, and dietary practices that contribute to regional longevity statistics rivaling Japan's best areas. The challenges require honest acknowledgement. Bureaucracy moves at southern Italian pace. English speakers concentrate in tourist areas, and summer temperatures can reach challenging levels. However, these same factors keep property prices artificially low and tourism impacts manageable. The magic happens in daily life rhythms impossible to experience elsewhere. Morning routines might include buying bread from bakers, whose families have operated the same ovens for centuries, afternoon siestas in courtyards where jasmine perfumes, afternoon breezes, and evening passeggiatas through streets where every building tells stories spanning millennia. For George, a retired investment advisor from Boston, who purchased a traditional house for $69,500, Northeastern Sicily became a cultural immersion program with a lifetime enrollment. "My neighbors treat me like family," he reflects. "The widow next door brings me fresh arancini every Tuesday. The fisherman down the street saves the best catch for my Friday dinners. My monthly expenses average $1,150. My property taxes are $310 annually, and I'm living in a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where every sunset looks like a Renaissance painting." Number 1. Le Marche's Adriatic Hill Towns. Here's the ultimate secret that even most Italians don't know. Le Marche contains Italy's most spectacular combination of rolling hills, pristine beaches, Renaissance art, and affordable coastal properties, yet remains so undiscovered that locals are genuinely surprised when foreigners choose their region for retirement. For $70,000 in Le Marche's coastal hill towns, you're not just buying property. You're acquiring membership in Italy's most authentic regional experience. These houses often feature original Renaissance-era architectural details, private courtyards with ancient well systems, rooftop terraces overlooking both Adriatic coastlines and Apennine peaks, and gardens where olive trees and fruit orchards provide year-round harvests. The financial proposition borders on unbelievable. Monthly living expenses range from $900 to $1,250, covering everything from housing costs to daily restaurant meals featuring local specialties like Brodetto all'Anconetana and Vinci's Grassi. Property taxes rarely exceed $350 annually, while healthcare costs through Italy's national system average $180 yearly for comprehensive coverage. Le Marche's strategic location provides access to major Italian cities. Rome reaches within 3 hours, Florence in 2, while maintaining authentic small-town atmosphere where residents know each other's stories and newcomers become neighborhood fixtures within months rather than years. The region's diverse geography creates unlimited lifestyle options. Morning beach walks, afternoon hilltown explorations, evening concerts in Renaissance palazzos, weekend truffle hunting in oak forests, and seasonal festivals celebrating everything from olive harvests to medieval traditions. Integration challenges exist, but prove manageable. Italian language skills accelerate daily life enjoyment. Bureaucratic processes require patience and persistence, and winter months bring quieter social calendars in smaller towns. However, these same factors create authentic cultural immersion impossible in tourist-heavy regions. The healthcare system maintains Italy's world-class standards, while providing personal attention characteristic of smaller communities. Local doctors often know patients' complete medical histories, Pharmacists provide detailed consultations, and traditional wellness practices complement modern medical care. For David and Carol, retired school administrators from Seattle, who purchased a hilltop house with sea views for $71,500, Le Marche became the retirement destination that exceeded every expectation. We're 15 minutes from beaches that rival anything in the Mediterranean, Carol explains. Our hilltop position provides sunset views over the Adriatic that change every evening. The local market vendors know our preferences. The pharmacist asks about David's knee, and our neighbors invite us to family celebrations. Our total monthly expenses average $1,100, including excellent wine with every meal and healthcare that would cost us $600 monthly in Seattle. She continues, "We've discovered that the best retirement destinations aren't the famous ones. They're the places where authentic life still happens, where community matters more than convenience, and where your presence genuinely enriches the local culture, while their traditions transform your daily experience into something far richer than we ever imagined possible." These $70,000 seaside properties represent more than real estate opportunities. They're invitations to join communities where life moves at human pace, where relationships matter more than efficiency, and where every day offers possibilities for discovery, connection, and joy. Whether you choose Liguria's dramatic cliffs, Calabria's hidden beaches, Sardinia's interior countryside, Molisse's undiscovered coast, Abruzzo's mountain-sea combination, Sicily's ancient northeastern corners, or Le Marche's Renaissance hill towns, you're not just buying property, you're investing in a lifestyle where authenticity, beauty, and community create daily experiences that most people only dream about. The financial benefits are obvious. Living well for less than $1,500 monthly in some of the world's most beautiful locations. But the real treasure lies in discovering that retirement doesn't have to mean retreating from life. Instead, it can mean finally living the life you always wanted, surrounded by beauty, history, and people who value human connection over digital distraction. If this journey through Italy's hidden coastal gems has inspired your retirement imagination, consider hitting subscribe. It supports our mission of uncovering authentic destinations where your retirement dreams meet financial reality. But before we conclude, tell us in the comments, which location surprised you most and what draws you to Italy's undiscovered coastal communities? Thanks for joining this exploration of Italy's best-kept retirement secrets. Don't miss our next video revealing the complete step-by-step process for purchasing Italian property as an American retiree. You'll find everything you need to transform today's inspiration into tomorrow's reality.